All right, so today in Algebra 2, we're going to finish up section 4.4. We're going to focus on compound fractions and simplifying them. So first, let's define what a compound fraction is. So a compound fraction is in the form of a fraction and has one or more fractions in the numerator and or the denominator. So it's like fraction within fraction within fraction. There are two different methods to simplify compound fractions. I will show you both methods here with the exact same problem, and then after that you get to choose which method you want to use. Okay? All right, so now method number one, you would define the LCM of the fractions in the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so on top, so number one, it says 1 over x plus 2 over x plus 1, all of that, 1 divided by y. So my LCM, everything that the first one has, x. I go to the second denominator, I have an x plus 1. I go to the bottom fraction, and that denominator is a y. So my LCM is x, y times x plus 1. Okay. So now I want to multiply the numerator and the denominator by that. Okay. So I'm going to take the top, 1 over x plus 2 over x plus 1, multiply by xy times x plus 1. Over the denominator, 1 over y, also gets multiplied by xy times x plus 1. Okay? So now when I do that, so I have to distribute here and distribute here. So on the top, when I do 1 over x times all of that, those x's cancel out just on this first part, and I'm left with y times x plus 1. Plus, now when I distribute the 2 with all of that, it has an x plus 1 in the denominator, right? So that my x plus 1's cancel out there, and I'm left with 2xy. Over, down here, my y's cancel, and I'm left with x times x plus 1. Okay. Now up top, I need to go ahead and distribute here. So I get xy plus y plus 2xy. Combine like terms, so I have xy and a 2xy, so I get a 3xy plus 1 over x times x plus 1. I cannot factor the top. I can't factor the bottom anymore. There's nothing that I can cancel out that's alike top and bottom. I cannot cancel out this x and this x because this is a 3xy. It would have to be the entire thing, and it says plus 1, so it's buddy with that. Okay? So I just worked that out wrong. Hold on a minute. Let's go back. I multiplied wrong. So this right here should have been, when I multiply y times x, y times 1 should have been y. So sorry about that. So now I get 3xy plus y over x times x plus 1. Now I can factor the top. What can I pull out of the top? They both have a y in there, so I'm going to pull a y out, and I get 3x plus 1 over x times x plus 1. That is my final answer. There we go. All right, so now let's look at method number 2. So method number 2 says express the numerator and the denominator as single fractions. Right? So that means go ahead and add them. So on top, my LCM is x and x plus 1. Okay? So I'm going to beat both of these on top. I'm just going to add them, both of them over x times x plus 1 plus x times x plus 1. So this first one, I already had a 1 on top. I already had an x, so it was missing the x plus 1. Plus, I have a 2 on the top over here. That first one already had an x plus 1 in the denominator. It was missing the x. Over just 1 over y. It's down there all by itself, so I don't have to do that to the denominator. So now on top, I get x plus 1 plus 2x over x times x plus 1, all over 1 over y. Combine like terms, so I get 3x plus 1 over x times x plus 1 over 1 over y. Okay? So now it says multiply the numerator of the denominator by the reciprocal of the denominator. So now I take what's down here, reciprocal, flip and multiply. Multiply by y over 1. Whatever I do down there, I have to do up here. The reason I do that, it cancels down here. And so then I'm left with on top, y times 3x plus 1 over x times x plus 1. Nothing cancels, so there's my answer. Notice it's the exact same thing that I got method number 1. Okay. All right, let's try some more of these. And again, you get to pick which method you want to use. Okay? I prefer to just multiply everything by the LCM. Okay? So number 1 says 1 over x minus 1, all of that over x plus 1 over 3 plus 4 over x minus 1. I'm going to find my LCM of everything. So on the top, I have an x minus 1. In the denominator, I have a 3 and an x minus 1. So my LCM is really 3x minus 1. So I'm going to take the top, 1 over x minus 1, multiply that by x minus 1 times 3. All of that over the bottom, x plus 1 over 3 plus 4 over x minus 1. All of that times 3 times x minus 1. Okay, so here at the top, my x minus 1's cancel, and I'm left with 1 times 3 is 3. This one, this 3 and that 3 are going to cancel and leave me with x plus 1, x minus 1. When I multiply here, my x minus 1's cancel, and I'm left with 4 times 3, so plus 4 times 3. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and work this out. So on top, I have a 3. If I FOIL x plus 1 times x minus 1, I know I'm going to get that difference of squares, x squared minus 1, and then plus 12. So now I have 3 over x squared plus 11. There's nothing I can do to that. It's not going to factor, not going to simplify, not going to reduce, so there's my answer. Let's look at the next one. 2 minus 1 over x divided by x plus 2 over x. Again, I'm going to take my LCM, which on the top is x, on the bottom is also x. So this one won't be that bad. So we'll take the top, 2 minus 1 over x, multiply by x. Over the bottom, x plus 2 over x, multiplied by x. So on top, 2 times x gets me 2x. 1 over x times x, my x's cancel, and I get minus 1. On the bottom, x times x gets me x squared. 2 over x times x, my x's cancel, gets me plus 2. On the top, 2x minus 1, nothing will factor. On the bottom, x squared plus 2, nothing will factor. There's our answer. So that is compound fractions. Okay, that wraps up section 4.4. Again, you get to choose which of those methods you prefer. Your homework tonight is worksheet 4.4, the same worksheet we've been working on. Now you're going to do numbers 26 through 29, 32, and 33. And then tomorrow we'll start the last section of chapter 4, and we will look at our chapter 4 test next week.